and yam yams. We are going to go ahead and talk about my man, Wizard Khalifington, also known as Wiz Khalifa for short. Recent footage came out of him at some club night event thing. And now, before I get too deep into this, there's not a lot of context on this video. Okay? So, the video starts. And I'm not going to play the video. I'm just going to tell you about it. The video starts with Wiz Khalifa immediately yelling and disrespecting DJs. Something happened before someone pressed record on the video, and essentially, Wiz Khalifa was pissed off, and in this video, he's basically just harassing the hell out of these DJs. I actually think I will bring this video up, but there's no context as to why Wiz Khalifa, who, by the way, is probably like one of the chillest dudes in the history of hip hop, like aesthetically speaking, there's not a lot of reasons why Wiz Khalifa would act the way that he did. So I really think that there's not a lot of context as to why all that happened. Let me see if I can find this footage real quick without it having all kinds of other people's tags on it, which is probably not likely because everybody's chasing that sweet clout. Oh, here we go. All right, tight. All right, so I'm gonna bring up this video. I'll let you guys be the judge of it and let you guys assess the situation. But like for me, there's not a lot of context in this video. I really think that like something happened for Wiz Khalifa to be this angry, for him to want to do the things that he was doing in this video. And I'll talk about this a little bit. Not every DJ is great. Some of you DJs suck at your job when it comes to playing music on time, etc. so forth. Some of you were just not very good at your job. Okay? And like I say, I know nothing about this situation other than the fact that something went down. So here's the video right here that we're talking about.
You niggas suck. Play my new shit, nigga. Play badass bitches. You're like horrible DJs. I came there tonight to promote for y'all and have a good ass time and have a great time. But you know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna sit here and let these whole ass niggas like this shit is acceptable. I'm a real ass nigga, dog. My album just came out today. I'm not just came out today. Play my new shit, dog. I wasn't there. How are you?
So, in order to piss off Wiz Khalifa enough to where man is smacking you in the head and ripping off your hat and calling you a hoe, like, you had to do something pretty bad. Like I said, Wiz Khalifa is like one of the chillest dudes historically in the history of hip hop. Like, he's known for, like, it's like him and Snoop Dogg and, like, I don't know, Mace, I don't know, just laid back as hell. His whole aesthetic is smoking weed and chilling and all that. So the way I see it is, those DJs probably were doing a very, very bad job, basically. They probably were not timing the tracks right. They were probably playing the wrong songs. Maybe they're missing cues. Like, I really think that these DJs were just messing up. And obviously it got to the point where somebody had to, like, put on the phone, right, and recorded this video. So there's probably a whole, like, 10 minutes before this of Wiz Khalifa and the DJ going back and forth. And it got to the point where Wiz Khalifa was so upset, one of the chillest dudes in the whole game was so upset that he's smacking niggas in the side of the head, ripping off their hats, and basically just talking all kinds of trash. Like, and if you ever, rappers, my fellow, what did I call you guys last video? My independently regional rappers out there, also known as locals, we know how this goes. We know that not every DJ is doing their job right. We know that some DJs will just not give a hell damn fuck about your music and just press play and maybe be on their phone and just not paying attention. Now, on the other hand, some DJs are amazing. They pay attention. They might even add a little blippity bloop to the beat while you're rapping, stuff like that. Now, on the other extreme of it, some DJs be doing too much. Some DJs would be like trying to scratch over your beat and cutting out the beat and just doing way too much. And that would piss off a rapper too, especially if it's not planned. So that's something I think about too, where it's like, there's times where I've been on stage with like a DJ that I wasn't like planned to have, like this is just some dude. And that DJ's like, he's filling the set and he's doing his thing and he's cutting out the beat. And now all of a sudden he's scratching. It's like, dude, shut the hell up. This is my time, not your time. Like, you have your time to do all that, right? Or the opposite of that is they're not giving a hell at all, right? They're sitting there like on their phone. They might not even be on stage, like they're at the bar trying to get a drink or something like that. And then the song cuts out and there's just like silence and you're standing there on stage looking like an idiot because you're waiting for the DJ to go put the next song on. There's been times where I've like been like, yo, I got this, and like ran the set myself. And this is also why a lot of rappers bring their sets on phones, because not every DJ is killing it like that, dog. Not every DJ's out there like, oh, I'm about the cuts and my turntable. No, some of these DJs suck, dude. Some of these DJs fucking suck. And like I said, I'm an old head. I'm 38 years old. I respect the DJ. Like, I love DJ. I used to be a DJ. So like, I have the utmost respect for DJs. It's a hard job. There's a lot going on. But some of you guys suck. That's just facts. Don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger delivering the message to you that you guys suck. Not every one of you, but some of you guys suck. And this is clear evidence. Look at this real quick. Wiz Khalifa was so angry that this man was smacking dudes in the back of the head. Look at this. This dude is so mad. Starts smacking dudes in the head, throwing hats, ripping off their hats. Like, bro, like, you must have just like botched the whole set. And you probably try to talk shit back too. You're probably like, well, I got this. This is Wiz Khalifa, dog. This dude's like a multimillionaire. Like, he don't need you. Like, if anything, you helping him out, or he's helping you out by appearing at your club and doing all this stuff, right? So, you know, like I said, I see both sides of this scenario when it comes to this. Like I said, I've been a DJ. I never DJed for Wiz Khalifa or anything like that. So there's a lot of pressure there too. But the DJ community is out here trying to cancel Wiz Khalifa, and it's like, why though? Like, so like I said, some of you guys just aren't very good at your jobs. Some of you guys think that you're DJs and really you're more like influencers with a laptop. And that's just harsh facts. I'm not even going to name any names. But when it comes to actual DJ turntablism, there's a whole culture, there's a whole thing behind it, right? There's the idea of scratching, there's the idea of beat juggling, the idea of spending hours and hours every week picking new music. Like, my homie DJ friends spend hundreds of dollars all the time on music, right? Just constantly getting new music, constantly perfecting their craft, constantly perfecting their blends. Some of these niggas out here just be pulling up in Yeezys and a fucking laptop with Serato and push buttons. And they get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, these club scenarios, they get it popping. But then when it comes to like situations like this, where it's like you actually have to do some DJing, you have to actually like, you know, do your damn job. You got to do your job. And that's where a lot of these dudes fumble. That's all I'm saying. Honestly, like, when it comes to this argument, I'm on team Wiz Khalifa. Like, I support Wiz Khalifa. Probably, like I said, because Wiz Khalifa is a chill. As I said 14 times in the video already, Wiz Khalifa is the chillest dude of our time in hip hop. And you got this guy so angry that he's smacking you in the back of the head and throwing your hat out in the crowd. You messed up. And I know someone's gonna probably come up and be like, yeah, you know, that DJ was. I'm waiting for the rest of this story to come out, because you know how this works in the internet, right? You get the first footage, everybody reacts to it, and the real story comes out as to what actually happened. Give it a day or two, the whole story will come out, and somebody in the audience will be like, yo, this DJ was terrible. He was terrible. I guarantee it. Team Wiz Khalifa on this. I love you, DJs, but some of you need to do better. Some of you need to actually study the craft of what it means to be a DJ. You're like the most important person in the club. Easily. The DJ is the most important person in the club. Most people go to the club to hear what the DJ is going to play. So as a DJ, you got to have your shit together. If you're hosting Wiz Khalifa, you need to be in communication with his team, make sure everything's on point, etc. and so forth, so you ain't getting your hat smacked off into the crowd. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, moving on. We're going to talk about motivation today. We're going to talk about your motives. We're going to talk about things that keep you motivated, why you do the things that you do, and how you can do better about setting goals and setting motives. Oftentimes I see artists not have clear goals. Like clear goals. Like setting benchmarks and setting clear parameters for their goals. And these can be simple ass goals. It could be something simple like, yo, I just want to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? That's a simple goal, right? That's actually more like a benchmark towards a goal, right? Let's say your ultimate goal is I want to have my own production company, right? I want to make YouTube videos for a living, like Mr. Beast. I want to be the next Mr. Beast, right? So that's your long-term goal, right? And then you have these little benchmarks that you have to set in order to get to that goal. You have to be like, all right, in order to get to the Mr. Beast status, I have to, step one, get a YouTube channel, right? I have to figure out my aesthetics for my YouTube. I have to figure out my look and my feel. I have to figure out how I want to engage with an audience, right? Same thing applies for you being a rapper or artist. Oftentimes, I be seeing rappers just rapping to be rapping. There's no goals. You just put the music out there, and then you're sad that no one's listening to your music because you're not really telling the world what you want out of it. You have to be clear. You have to. It's a lot of it's about affirmations and manifestation. And rappers put this shit in their music. They say, "Yo, I'm gonna be big. I'm gonna be big, famous, and so on and so forth." But your actions and your music are not lining up to what you're doing in real life, right? You have to have a clear story through line. When people look at your stuff, they know what to expect. And this gets harder and harder as social media gets more and more crazy and more wild. It becomes a full-time job keeping your aesthetic up. And some of you have to learn more skills because, or either that or you have a bag to pay people to do the things that you want, right? But some of you need to get more skills. Some of you need to learn how to edit videos. Some of you need to learn how to take photos. And these are all things that are important towards your overall goal. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, I just want to be a famous rapper. Why do I have to learn how to shoot photos? Well, because it's all about storytelling. And unless you have the bag to pay for a photographer to run around and follow you all the time, which you probably don't because, like I said, you're regionally independent, you're not going to be able to hit your goal the way that you want to hit it. You either have to have a team or you got to do it yourself. And this is where the motivation comes down to, because oftentimes people aren't motivated to do it themselves. We want the easy way out. And what's fucked up about social media is that we sit here and watch social media. We see so-and-so go viral on a song, and we're like, damn, I wish I could do that. I mean, all he did was do this, and like, there's a lot more to it behind the scenes that we didn't see, right? Social media only shows you the highlights. They're not showing you the failures, not showing you the people taking the L's and the people figuring out all the times that they try to do it and it didn't work, right? And so oftentimes when you try to get toward your goal, you jump in, right? You try to dive in, you get it popping, and you realize that there's so much that you have to do. There's so much that you have to learn. There's so much that you have to post. Content, videos. Oh no, I gotta get the videos. I gotta do this and that. But the reality is, stick to the motives. Focus on your benchmarks. Because oftentimes we get distracted. Going back to the top of this little piece, let's say that you want to get 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 followers on Spotify, right? Concentrate on that. Just that. Put the song out on Spotify. Tell your friends it's on Spotify. That's it. Don't worry about the music video. Don't worry about the photos. Don't worry about that. Just send your link to people and tell people that your song is out on social media. Also, figure out ways to connect with people in ways that are genuine, right? Because if you're going to be popping in people's inboxes saying, listen to my shit, me personally, I'm not listening to your shit. Now, at the same time, I'm also very reclusive when it comes to my inbox. Oftentimes, I will not answer a lot of my messages because I just don't want to fucking answer my messages. I'm doing shit, right? So if you're sending me a message, you got to get my attention. Tell me a story. Tell me something interesting. Tell me something that's going to stimulate me and make me want to know more. Don't just be like, oh, I'm hot, listen to my shit, because I'm not going to, right? That's a sidetrack. That's a whole different video. The point is, when you set these goals and these benchmarks, focus on them, achieve them, and move on. Treat this shit like a video game, bro. And not like a Grand Theft Auto video game that's open world where you can go do whatever you want. I'm talking more like a God of War, Metal Gear Solid type of game where there's a through line. There's things that you have to do in order to get to this. A plus B equals C. Oftentimes motherfuckers would be like A plus X equals T. And it's like, that's not the formula that we wrote. That's not what we're trying to do, right? A plus B equals C. So do A, do B, get C. When you have C, you take C and D and make it E. Eventually you have the whole alphabet. Don't be afraid to write shit down and pace yourself in a way that is genuine to your flow. Don't stretch yourself because then you're going to wind up getting burnt out. Don't do stuff that makes you feel too uncomfortable because then you'll wind up hitting that, I forgot what it's called. There's a point where you think that you know everything, right? This is where you first start and you think that you know everything about whatever and you think that you're the fucking man in it. And then you realize, oh shit, I don't know everything about this. So your confidence goes way, way, way down. And oftentimes when the confidence goes way, way, way down, that's when people quit. But not knowing that that's like the middle part of most people's careers is the figuring it the fuck out part, right? The figuring the fuck out part is the hardest part of your career. I would actually say that the maintaining it is actually a little bit harder. But that's not what this video is about. The figuring the fuck out part is where a lot of people fail. Because they'll take a couple ALLs, they'll get burned by some bad business, they'll drop a song and the numbers won't go right. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, this is different. This is not what I expected it to be when I first started. This sucks. I quit. Or this sucks. I'm depressed. Or this sucks. I'm going to fall back on this because this is not working. No, you got to keep moving forward. Every time you fail, you have to take the information from that failure, put it back into your brain and figure out why you failed and then try again. I failed so many times over my life. Thousands of times probably at this point I failed. But at this point it's working out extremely well for me to where I'm so comfortable with the way that I move. I have multiple clients, the money's coming in good. I got a team that does shit. I got a beautiful wife and family. I'm here in my studio. And I'm not trying to brag and sit here and stun on you niggas. What I'm trying to say is that the only reason I'm at this point is because I set goals. I set benchmarks. Me and my wife were like, yo, we want to get a house in the next couple years. What do we have to do to make that happen? Well, I gotta move. I gotta do some shit. I gotta set these benchmarks in my personal life and in my career to get to that point. And we did that. And now we're setting the next goal. My ultimate goal, as I talk about time and time again, is having a production studio / theme park attraction thing. I keep saying somewhere in Casa Grande. We'll see if that actually happens. But somewhere between Phoenix and Tucson, that's like almost like a Disney World Universal Studios vibe where people can go there and experience stuff. But then also we're shooting movies in the back lots. That's the ultimate vision. This is a maybe ideally 10-year vision. In between then there'll be a lot of iterations of this, other studios, smaller versions, and I expect to fail at some of these. But I had that goal. Even if I fail at some of these things I plan on the way, we are still going to continue the goal as long as that goal is what you want, which is another thing about it. Make sure that the goal that you set is something that you actually want. Make sure that you actually ask yourself, is this what I really want to do for the rest of my life? Or is this something that's me just chasing clout because I saw someone else do it? Or because it's a phase? Like, remember when you were a little kid and you were really into Power Rangers for like 2 years, and you were telling everybody that Power Rangers were so lit? And that was a whole thing. Remember that? Remember that? I remember that because I was doing it too. But I don't really fuck with Power Rangers like that anymore. I fell out of that phase. There was a time in high school where I was wearing Jenko jeans for a little bit. I think it was my my sophomore year. I was wearing Jenko jeans, and I was like, man, these Jenko jeans are so fire, dog. This is what I want in life right now. These extra baggy pant legs that are great for skateboarding. Not really, even though they told you that. I wanted that. It's a phase. And even as an adult, even if you're in your mid-20s or even your 30s, you still go through phases. You still go through these things that are fleeting moments of inspiration or fleeting moments of just change or life being life, right? But your core, the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life, is that still there, right? Because for me, I make movies now, right? I make movies and I make music. I've been making music and making movies since I was 5 fucking years old. Like, since I was 5, I've been doing this shit. Making little films on my dad's camera, writing songs on my little shitty computer. I used to do that as a kid. It's one of my core cornerstone things about who I am as a person is my storytelling through media. And now that I'm 38 years old, I'm doing storytelling through media as a business, and I'm making decent money off of it, and I'm happy as hell. In between that and this was a whole lot of bullshit, a whole lot of misdirection, a whole lot of confusion, but there's a whole lot of blessings in there too. And so figuring all that out is tough. This is what life is, right? But I know that as a kid, you probably have a passion that may not be what you're doing right now. And if it is, that's beautiful, fantastic. But I'm just saying, ask your soul what you really want and set that as your goal. And then you create benchmarks to get there. That's your motive. That's your through line. That's how you get to where you want to be in life. Then you ask the universe, and you tell your friends, you tell your family, you tell everybody that this is what you want to do. Because the more you put it out there, the more you tell people, the more you talk about it, the more you're manifesting, the more you're reaching down from the universe and making it happen. Because people will give you opportunities, people will give you jobs, people will actually be like, oh yeah, I need a photographer shit. So these are just things you gotta think about. I'm over time a little bit. I wanted to make this 20 minutes. This is 22 minutes. You got a bonus 2 minutes. I love y'all. Thanks for watching Daily Q. We'll see you tomorrow.